I've actually been taking cold showers for 2 years. Don't really remember why I started to begin with. I think I'd read somewhere that they're supposed to be really good for your mood and for your energy levels and stuff like that. And I'll give this a try. And of course the first one was really hard. And one of the things that I've discovered with that is that it's because like we resist the cold water when we jump into a cold shower. You get in and you turn and our minds are going, no. G'day, good morning. This is the morning walk, episode 95. Is it chilly in Alice Springs this morning? Yeah, it's chilly. For a place that spends most of its days of the year sitting up around 30 degrees. The mornings this time of year, kind of towards the end of the winter time, can still be pretty brisk, which is why I'm equipped like this. But I wanted to take you somewhere special this morning for a look at something pretty unique. And then maybe, because I'm all kitted out, I might go for a run to warm up. But first, let's go check out this thing. Ready? Come on. Oh, sorry, I didn't ask if you were ready to go warmed up. Okay, let's go. This, the Todd River, that I wanted to show you this morning, because it don't look like much of a river, does it? It's completely dry. It spends most of the year and most of every year dry, and yet it floods pretty big, 2 meters. Imagine when this thing is fully raging. It'll be like well and truly over my head right now. It's actually a flood monitoring station. Tests the river height when it's raging. Automatically sends that data back to a control centre so they know how high the water is. It's pretty awesome to come and walk here. In fact, we're just passing through. It's called the Gap. Go figure. Wonder why they called it that. Got the Stewart Highway over there. Stewart Highway is the main highway that runs essentially north to south from Adelaide to Darwin, cuts Australia in half. 3,000 kilometres long, and forges its way through the Gap here. God, it's beautiful, isn't it? Like, just the complexity of the rock. The Todd River runs for about 300 kilometres, cuts essentially right down through the middle of Alice. It starts sort of up in the hills. Oh, there's the sunrise. You enjoying that? Good morning. Starts kind of up in the hills, north of town, 10, 20 k's north of town, meanders around up there. It's very rocky, so what tends to happen is they have massive thunderstorms, huge thunderstorms across the whole catchment area. And when that rain comes down, because it's landing on rock, essentially all floods very quickly into the basin and runs down here into the river. So in the space of, I don't know, like literally 45 minutes, this can go from being completely dry to being uncrossable, which is pretty amazing when you think that right now, yeah, that's very dry. 45 minutes, 0 to raging torrent. These things. I don't really want to touch it, but looks almost like watermelon. We've been seeing these things on the road for days alongside the track. It does just look like watermelon, doesn't it? Maybe it is watermelon. Have to open this thing up and have a look. It's funny because you see lots of the locals using the river as essentially like a walkway going from like up here in town all the way back through the gap and then beyond. I guess why not? It's actually quite a pleasant place to walk, soft underfoot. Although I must admit, kind of crazy to be riding your bike through this much sand or driving a car. A bit further back down one of the other sections, you can just see it's pretty thick with the trees and all the car tracks like weaving through it. So people do anything to get off a big road, won't they? What have we learned from 40 days on the road? Firstly, I guess Australia is a bloody big country. We drove 5,000 kilometres just to get to really our first major stop. It's a very big place. And secondly, one of the things that I've learned is that things don't ever seem to be as bad as they seem in your mind. What I was thinking about really was like emptying the toilet on the caravan. You know, like one of those things that in our minds we're like, that is so disgusting. I never want to have to do that. What a gross task to have to do every single freaking day. And yet, you know, it's not that bad. Don't tell my family that because I'm leveraging that for everything it's worth every single day. Okay, don't tell them that it's not as bad as it sounds. But of course, like, the technology is in place to actually make, you know, the stuff inside not as bad. And, you know, all the technology for emptying it has been designed so it's not as bad as you think. And it's quite often like the reality of some of these things is worse than, you know, sorry, the imagination we have of these things is worse than the reality. It's like leeks. Have you ever eaten leeks? I mean, they look disgusting. Seriously, if it weren't for my wife, I would never have eaten leeks in my life because they look so freaking disgusting. And you cook them up and they look gross. And then you eat them and you're like, what is this thing? This is amazing. It's like the most delicious thing you can imagine to eat. It's brilliant. Leeks. Much better in reality than they look or they seem in your imagination. Look at that tree. It's got 3 very distinct trunks. And obviously joined somewhere about 1.5 meters or 2 meters underground. How wonderful. Here's another one. I've actually been taking cold showers for 2 years. Don't really remember why I started to begin with. I think I'd read somewhere that they're supposed to be really good for your mood and for your energy levels and stuff like that. And I'll give this a try. And of course the first one was really hard. And one of the things that I've discovered with that is that it's because like we resist the cold water when we jump into a cold shower. You get in and you turn and our minds are going, no. And then when you actually stop, it's actually all right. You know, with a shower, either it's cold when you get in or it's cold when you get out. So what's the difference? You stand under there for 30 seconds and everything goes numb and it's not that bad. It's like so much of our mind is resisting what's going on in the reality of the world. It's like a good reminder every day to just not do that. Just to let the water flow over you. Hard to believe these massive trees sitting in the middle of a dry riverbed. That's my lesson for today, my message. That some things aren't as bad as they sound. In fact, most stuff isn't probably as bad as it sounds. And so today, when your mind goes, no, or yuck, or I can't do that, just remember who's in control, right? It's like you're in control. You decide if you're going to turn on the tap. It's not like your reactive, panicky mind that gets to make that call. Maybe that's why cold showers have been such a crazy thing. It's because every day it's like this reminder that it's not my reaction that governs how I live, governs my habits. It's like my mind that decides to turn that tap on. Whatever you're getting up to today, I hope it's a good one. Thanks for joining me on this very unusual morning walk on the river. It's a beautiful day. Go enjoy it. I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.